Diane's chapter. Dianne, you want to talk about your chapter first?
Yes.
Okay,
I'm going
go
to talk
ahead.
about my chapter.
Yeah,
So
go.
I'm the host of Ascend Your Path, and I'm also one of the co-authors. And my chapter is called The Power of Being in Service to Others. My heart is always about service. And let me ask you this question. Have you ever done everything right? You showed up for everyone. You built the career that you wanted. You handled your responsibility. But yet there was that quiet whisper saying inside of you, there is more. Put me in the chat if that's you. Yes? Yes. I can't see the chat. I'm sorry. But I want to ask one more question. Have any one of you have worked really hard for a position only to get passed over when you were the most qualified? I know there's a lot of yeses there. So I get that all the time. Okay. Well, this chapter, my chapter, the power of being in service to others, will help you with that. This is what my chapter is about. Because what I've learned after working with New York City Transit for almost 3 decades is that purpose doesn't always show up in big, dramatic moments. It's just small things that you do. I started off working in the token booth. Those of you who've been to New York City, back then we had tokens. You had to drop a little token. Now it's a credit card or something. Okay. And with me doing that, all I can do is I carried my badge. My smile was my badge of honor. And as I grew within the agency, I started leading a team of 60. Okay. Sometimes it was hard at times, but sometimes, again, I said, it's our service comes in small ways. It's that smile when you talk to the tourist that's lost, or an employee who is saying, I have babysitting issues, or that employee who's saying, how do I move up within the agency? My story answers that question because I've been through that. But I always came from service. I would always say to everyone or say to myself, how can I make what I do better? And I would, even if it's a form, I would look at the form and say, okay, what is this form missing? How can I improve it? How can I improve my employees? So in my chapter, I share how service became my leadership language. My favorite book is called The Servant Leader. I read it at least twice a year. And it just talks about leading from the bottom up. When you invert that pyramid, okay, you invert that pyramid and you lead from but you lift your people up. And I guess this is why I do Ascend Your Path, because I love creating safe spaces for you to share not just your message, but to also share your story in our anthologies. So in my chapter, I shared how service became my leadership language. I shared how from working in the subway system to managing teams, and how serving from the heart doesn't just help others. It helps lead you to purpose. And that's what it did to me. One of the biggest lessons I want you to walk away with is this. When you stop chasing success and start choosing significance or impact, as Gigi said her word is, your life begins to feel meaningful again. I invite you to do what brings you joy. Life is built in balance. What you give returns, and it often comes back multiplied. This is about learning how to serve from your overflow and trusting that when you live with impact first, life has a way of meeting you with opportunities, joy, and even abundance. So if you feel stuck, or if you're in a season where you're asking, what's next for me? My chapter, The Power of Being in Service to Others, will help you answer that question. It will, I just want you to ask yourself, who can I serve next? What can I do to help someone else? So if you're feeling stuck, find someone to serve, even if it's a phone call, because service is not just what you do, it's how you unlock your purpose. And friends, that's how I unlock my purpose, by sharing with others, giving from my heart. And I invite you, that service is so needed today in the world that we live in. So find someone to say, I love you. Share your, whatever gift you have, share your gifts. We all have gifts. That's why we have unique fingerprints, so we can leave our own imprint on this planet. So I hope I was able to share what my chapter is about, and it was just short, but I invite you to pick up Ascend Your Path. We're going to be dropping the link. It's on Amazon. And there's so many chapters there that will touch your heart. Each and every one of them is going to touch your heart in a meaningful way. So I just want you to say thank you for listening to me, and I love sharing what I do. Olga, back at you.
Thank you, Dianne. And by the way, the QR code that you see at the left top corner of most of our backgrounds, that's the link to Amazon if you would like to purchase the book, right? It's the left, right? Okay. Yes. And Dianne, what do you say if we have our first wheel right now and somebody can win a soft cover of the book?
A soft cover. Okay, sounds like a plan.
Okay, so let me. Hold on.
Okay, while Olga figure out the wheel, I just want to say that Olga will be sharing her chapter next. And just to tell you a little bit about Olga and her chapter, Olga's chapter explores what happens when we put everyone else first for so long that we forget to listen to our own needs. Through her story, she shares how burnout, boundaries, and self-awareness became turning points, and how rebuilding from within changed the way she leads, how she lives, and how she serves. Her chapter isn't about fixing yourself, it's about coming home to yourself. Okay, so just to keep in mind what's going to be coming from Olga's chapter. We don't hear from Olga too much, but Olga's chapter is quite powerful.
Okay, dokie, 1 second. We will get to my chapter, but do you see that wheel?
Yes. How many people do we have, Olga, registered?
145.
145.
Now you have to be here in order to win the prize.
Win.
So let's see. And some names are like, oh no, here we have good names. Nabila Alemad. Nabila, are you here? Let me see the list. No, I don't see. Yes, yes. Hold on, who knows that person?
Okay.
Cindy, you are Who is that person? I don't see on the list. Maybe
She's
it's
in the
like
chat.
one of the iPhones.
She's in the chat.
In the chat, okay.
Okay, that's your person, Sandy?
Oh. Nabila.
Okay. Are we spinning the wheel one more time? Okay.
No. If the person is here, is she here?
Yes, she said she
Yes,
can't open.
okay,
Right.
then we are not going to spin one more time.
Okay.
Later. Okay, so now I can talk about my chapter. Let me admit everybody, so I will be free to talk. Okay, here you go. Yes, so in my chapter, I use the image of the house because I'm also part of a construction company. Because for a long time, that's exactly how my life felt. From the outside, the house looked solid, you know, nice brick, nice stone, everything was fine. It looks like my life looked successful. It looked all put together, you know, good family, husband, kids, dog, cats, whatever, everything that you would want in a family. But inside, there were cracks that I avoided at all costs. Rooms that I kept closed, and repairs I kept postponing because I was too busy keeping everything else standing. You know the feeling? I cannot see the chat right now. Yes, I can see the chat. Okay. Now, the life didn't just knock on my door. It came in like a storm, like huge storm. Everything started falling apart not at one point, but, you know, there were signs, of course, like cracks. But since you avoid them now, it's the big storm. Relationship fell apart. My sense of safety changed completely. The identity that I was building of that successful college professor, everything else, no longer was a fit. And in that collapse, I couldn't pretend anymore. I had to do something, right? If your house is falling apart, now it's the time to do something. And I had to go down to the foundation of all that. So my chapter is about what it looks like to rebuild your house from inside out. To notice where I had no boundaries, of course, where I was constantly overgiving and not even thinking about myself, right? And if you're giving from an empty cup, you know how it ends up. Where I had confused being needed with being valued. Because sometimes, and that's one of my books that I wrote in the attachment theory, we are trying to be needed. We are trying to do stuff because we are trying to earn love. That's the pattern that we learned in our childhood. That we have to earn, we have to deserve love, although it's our birthright. Now, my book is about learning that strength doesn't come from holding everything together at any cost, but from creating a structure that can actually support you. And stepping into my power didn't mean building a bigger, more impressive house, of course, right? It meant building a safer one where I could be myself, where I would have clear boundaries, I would have space to breathe, and that house would have a very solid ground. And again, if that story speaks to you, I hope it reminds you that rebuilding is not a failure. It's not a failure. Sometimes the collapse is the moment you finally get the chance to build something that truly feels like home. And that's what my chapter is about. And I hope you're going to read it, and I hope you're going to take your lessons from my chapter, sorry.
Well, thank you, Olga. Am I unmuted?
Yes, you are.
Okay. Thank you, Olga. Yes, guys, one of the things I've learned and from one of my coaches is that in life we should be honest always and open when appropriate. And a lot of us don't even know some of the stuff that we've been through since Olga and I started this project. We started working together. This is our third year. We've been working together now 4 years, but this is our third year in business together. And ever since we started, it was just like we just got hit one after the other, one after the other. But we keep standing. And that's the thing about overcoming. It's so when you fall down, like Les Brown would say, when you fall down, make sure you fall face up so you can get up. And that's what we keep showing up. So we know we're winners. That's on hold. So let's pause and welcome in our special guest. Okay.
Hello, 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 everybody. Keep the doors open, yeah, the queen's walked in. Forbes got the fire and the world's her win. Compassion with muscle, she's built for this run. Turning every grade down into breakthrough. Done and look right there, next to her shine. McKenna's the prodigy ahead of her time. Millionaire mindset, boss in her bones. Running her empire from her own throne. GSD, get it, execute, done. Power in the veins like a loaded drum. Seasons have just stocked up a one. Forbes and McKenna, yeah, they get your things done. GSD, never watch them run. They're changing the world and they're doing it GSD, getting shit done. Good morning, everybody. Diana, how to make an entrance, you know that.
I know you had to make your entrance, and we welcome this. Forbes, I thank you so much for showing up. And for
I
the-
would. Well, I wouldn't miss this. Come on, you got my little face on the front of your book, and you got some beautiful people in this room. Look at Olga just smiling. John, I heard a little bit of you in your heart. How wonderful! I'm loving Jenny's wings, and of course, Sandy's in the room, so it's got to be a great space to be. Diane, welcome and congratulations. You know, I am. I don't know what the right word is because I don't allow anyone to say struggling in my world, but it's taken me about 5 years from the time I had the notion to holding this thing in my hands. It is not for sale yet. It is not released. You can get, Sandy, if you put in the chat, www.pitchsecretsbook.com, you can learn about all that we're doing. There's nothing to sell right now. But the speed with which you did your book, got it beautifully printed, got the cover I'm in love with. Congratulations for getting shit done. Quickly.
Well, you know, that's my nickname, Get Shit Done.
You know, I think that's interesting. I thought it was Dianne Cunningham, rock star, but that's okay.
Yes, but thank you so much, Forbes. And guys, I know Forbes, she wants to bless us. And before I introduce you, is there anything you would like to say to what it was like working with us on this book?
Well, you know what? Whenever somebody gets to tell their story, the universe listens. I know that sounds crazy, but I first heard that in the most auspicious of ways. I was a young 20-something-year-old, very aggressive, really wanted to be an actress and a star. That was important to me, and I'm in New York. And I discovered how casting directors got in touch with agents, and I made my own little silly plan and moved in with a raging alcoholic to get access to this information because my mission was bigger than the mess. And I ended up going to my very first AA meeting. And I remember when the first person, I don't drink, so what would I be doing there except to support my friend? But it was a real blessing. I walked in and the first gentleman got up and he said, "Hi, my name is," and I'm an alcoholic. Everyone said hi. And he told this story. And I felt my heart like I'd never heard anyone speak like that. My family was very quiet. They kept emotions to themselves. They're Russian immigrants. You were taught not to show emotions. Olga, maybe you know, or anyone who's been in the Eastern European bloc, we just got quiet.
And all of a sudden, the second person got up and started sharing stories. And I realized at that moment that I was experiencing something I had never experienced. And that was people telling stories from their heart, not a script that actors were saying, and they didn't want anything except to share. And they often say that when there's two or more people in a room, God is present. I feel the same way when people share their story. And the topic and the concept of ascend your power is so uplifting, important, because I need you guys to just remember every day that you wake up in that cozy bed that you're in and you have heat and water and access to coffee and the freedom to get in your car and go grocery shopping. That hasn't always been the way the world works. Those are rights, those are privileges. And those things can go away if we're not so smart. And so every day you realize that you're the top 1% of the 8 billion people on this planet. You have been blessed with just the surroundings. Use them for good. Turn around and lift other people up. Don't walk over other people. I would love, man, I'd like to take a hammer and just stop the hate. I don't care. I've been alive now. I'm 65 years old. I've watched lots of administrations come and go. I don't like most of them, and I'm a poli-sci major. But as soon as one group gets in, the other group hates them. So I feel it's like, can we just stop? Because it's always like 50% here. Okay, now 50% here. And it seems to be that odd number that it's pretty evenly divided. I don't like the energy. I don't know why we can't level up, ascend our power into understanding that we're humans, that homeless people need to find shelter. I went to a restaurant the other day and this woman was sitting outside. I was freezing cold and I thought, how do I help her? How do I, and then of course you always run the risk of when you help somebody who might in fact be dealing with whatever, it's not always the best thing. But my heart just hurt. And when I see kids who are struggling, and I love your mission. Dianne, from the moment I met you, you have this cherubic face about you. You've got this little cheeks, this cute mouth. You're beautiful. And you were sitting in a room and you weren't very happy. And I could feel that me going back to when I wanted what I wanted so bad. And when you don't know how to get it, sometimes you get very brittle. And you think, I got to get it. I got to figure it out. And I think maybe I watched you learn this, that when you lean in and you are part of something bigger than you, and you resonate different, things come to you in the most beautiful fashion. It took me a lifetime to learn that lesson. I wasted a whole lot of time and going through breakthroughs and letting the past. My mom was a bit of a hoarder. My dad was an introverted entrepreneur, inventor, and a magician. And I hid behind a lot of things. And I will share with you that stepping out into the light takes courage. And so I want to congratulate all of you who chose to share your story in this book, who trusted Dianne that when she said she could get Forbes Riley and Les Brown, she did. Not an easy feat. I got a couple of, knock on wood, as the level of fame is rising, we get asked a lot of things. I didn't mean to be insulting yesterday to someone who said, well, I would love to just pick your brain. I'm like, you can't do that anymore. I always said, some people would always say, I'd like to buy you lunch and pick your brain. I'm like, I'm never that hungry, and please don't pick my brain. But also, it's a bad pitch. When you say, I want to pick your brain, what's the value to me? Why do I want you to do that? So I sent her back with my hourly rate, which is a lot of money. And I make that. And the little girl in me is going, oh, come on, be nice to her. And the grown-up adult is like, welcome to being an adult. And I've watched you blossom. I watched you show up live. I've watched you show up on video over and over again. And Dianne, I hope you feel it, but like an onion, I've just watched, you were beautiful to start with. And now you're just glowing. And you have all of these people in this room who are supporting and loving on you because you did what I'm talking about. You gave more than you got. You set out this project, you over-delivered, you made it beautiful, and everyone here witnessing that is the better for it. So congratulations to all of you for showing up, for loving each other. I've had a chance to meet Sandra Smith over in the UK, and Sandy Lynn I've had in my studio, and Sandy Austin is one of my big, yummy best friends in the world. Because Chrysalin, all the way from down there in the Caribbean, how do I know these faces? Well, because they showed up. And the cool thing about being in my world is if you want to be loved on, welcome to my world. I don't ever forget you. Ryan. Ryan runs our spin gym classes. And isn't it nice to be acknowledged and have somebody know who you are? And I only know them because they showed up to share their stories, to help other people, and to be these crazy, wonderful love muffins. So I'm grateful beyond words.
Well, Forbes, thank you so much. And as you said that about how life takes this turn, I retired from after working with New York City Transit for almost 3 decades. And after what kind of not really forced me, but the job wasn't fun anymore. I wasn't really happy. And I started looking at motivational speakers, and I didn't want to be a speaker. That's not my thing. I love doing what I do here, providing safe spaces. And when I look back, not getting a job that I wanted really bad, and I think I was the most qualified for, brought me to this today. And I look back and I said, thank God, because I probably would have still been working and stuck on the job in an office for a whole week because you can't go home. Okay, you're essential. And thinking about it, I heard a minister say, life is lived forward, but understood backwards. And that resonated so much with me because now, even looking back, I had to not get that job to do what I'm doing today, something that brings me joy. So I thank you so much for showing up. And guys, before I know Forbes is going to say a little more. Forbes, would you do a little more for us?
Well, I would love to answer a question or two. You guys
Okay.
can always come. As a free gift, I will share with you guys, and Sandy put this in the chat, Pitch Secrets training. You guys can come on a Sunday. I still do live Sundays. It's free for you guys as a gift to this. I do charge for it, but for you it's free. And we spend about 2 hours up-leveling, pitching, talking to each other, hearing how quickly you can articulate what you do so impactfully that you move your needle forward. You know, it's funny, I will take a quick moment. I had a really beautiful blessing last night. For those of you who have children, children go through different stages. There's that moment I remember when I wanted a baby so badly, and then 2 of them showed up, and all of a sudden I have these cute little twins, and then they're 6 to 8 years old, and they think mommy walks on water. They turned 12 and realized I don't and hated me for it. And I'm like, wait, when did I say I was anything that special? And then my daughter and son both came around and they work with me. Last night, my daughter identified this kind of hip Tampa party in some big mansion. Mostly the average age was 24. And she called me and said, Mom, would you like to join me and my 2 girlfriends? I feel like I won the lottery. It's a little live on my Instagram. You guys can check it out. I was like, I got all dolled up. Josh was like, where are you going? I'm like, I'm hanging out with the 20-year-olds. And what we did, and the people that we met I was all just doing pitching. Like I literally met some very impressive people. One guy who I got offered a speaking gig last night, okay? And if you saw the videos, it's all 22-year-old girls chasing cute 22-year-old boy. They're all just, and I'm standing there, and I identified a speaking gig. I was like, yes, you go, girl. And McKenna literally said to me at one moment, she's like, Mom, low key, I'd rather hang out with you. I get more done, and I'm having a great deal of fun, but I got to go hang out with my friends who like to drink and party and be silly. So I feel like I won the lottery that she included me, because she certainly didn't. And when she would introduce me, she said, this is my mom. And I'm like the only mom here. I don't think I look like a mom, but let's get real, you know? So it was just a great moment. I just have to share that with you guys. So yeah, ask me a question. You know, I'm going to share something else with you. I teach this principle. Can I share this with you? Because I don't see anybody's hands raised. Can y'all take your right hand like this, go like that? I'm going to take your right hand, go like that. One more time. Take your hand, go like that. Okay, so here's something really important. When somebody says you have a question, just go like that. I'll tell you why. Because you get a window to be noticed. How many of you want to be noticed in your business and get leads easier? Yes? Raise your hand. You all do. You all want to get leads easier. So get this. I practice what I preach. 2 or 3 of the people at this party recognized me from an event last month. I wasn't speaking at the event. How did they recognize me? I answered a question. So literally, this is how it goes. And I ascribe to this, guys. Whenever I'm in a room and if I'm not speaking, I still want people to know who I am. I don't want to have to stand there and wait to meet all these people? Wouldn't it be a lot better if I had 2 minutes to say who I am, or 60 seconds? So here's what I do. You only need 20 seconds to say who you are. So I want all of you to formulate a question. What would you want to ask Forbes Riley? What would you want to know about being in business? Whatever it is. But you get 20 seconds. And here's how it goes. Hi, my name is Ann Summers, and I work as a pet veterinarian, and I've got a new holistic way online to get your pet really happy. Hey, Forbes, here's my question. So last night, there were about 3 guys who walked up to me going, hey, saw you at Max's event. Guys, all Max did, and I knew at some point, he's like, hey, does anybody have a question? I'm the only hand up. I'm the only hand up in a sea of 1,000 people. Who is he going to pick? And I feel like I got knighted. Hey, everybody, it's Forbes Riley. Just want to know, known as the queen of pitch, 2.5 billion in sales. You ever want to know how to close deals faster? I'm your girl. Okay, so here's my question. That's all I said. And people at this next party knew who I was. So just keep that in mind. So Abby is the first girl to go, yes, I got you, Forbes. I know what you're saying.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you, Dianne. Thank you, Olga. Dr. Forbes, my question is, how do you get over your dislike for social media? I know to be a writer and a speaker and an entrepreneur, you need to let people know who you are. But I kind of have a dislike for social media.
Why? What don't you like?
I just love my privacy.
Okay, well then work for somebody else. What do you?
For somebody else in what way?
No, well, Abby, what do you do?
I am a registered nurse and entrepreneur. My focus is providing affordable housing for unique type of individuals.
Okay, so in order to do that, do you need customers? Do you need clients? Do you need investors?
Yes, I do.
So if they don't know who you are, how would they possibly want to invest with you?
I understand that. But,
and that's really what it is. It's not about privacy. What you see on social media, in fact, I think I made a joke about that yesterday. I said, the chick that you see on social media is not who I am. It's who I want you to think I am. Okay? You don't have to show every aspect of your life. That's not what they're asking. They're asking for some credibility about what you do. And so if what you do maybe is you're interviewing people on why affordable housing is a really important thing to have, or interviewing success stories, it doesn't have to be about you. It has to be about what you're doing, and that your mission in life is bigger than your privacy, quote unquote. If my kids, I don't highlight my kids on my social media, even when they were little. That's my world. I do, however, highlight my husband, who's a 7-time world champion bodybuilder, and I love leveraging that because I'm so proud of it. And it's silly, right? But if we wanted a private life, I would never bring him into it. So Abby, just align with what you want to do. And if you supplying affordable housing, then make your social media platform about that. I think exactly the opposite. I grew up in a time where the only people who had attention and press were celebrities. And you only got it through magazines like People or Us or Entertainment Tonight, and they were always in your face. And when I was coming up and acting, you had to pay a publicist $5,000 a month to get your picture into a magazine. Nowadays, guys, this is free. This is the greatest tool ever if you're in business. If you want to generate and make money, it's how people believe who you are. You have a profile photo. You have things that you believe in. And by the way, you don't need 1 million followers to be wildly successful. And you don't have to prove anything to anybody else unless you get caught up in that. And some people, that's their entire identity. Good for them, and they're making money doing it. Abby, you're bigger than that. And so that's how I think you want to use it. My advice is fall in love with it. It's a necessary evil.
Thank you so much.
Oh, you're so welcome, Abby. Best of luck. Deb White, come on up here.
Hey, I am Deb White, and I've participated as a fitness professional the majority of my life. Now at 65, I am very eager to support others in understanding lifestyle medicine to heal and to maintain good health. How would you present that in a community where people are looking for the 5-minute solution?
Well, first of all, congratulations for doing it as long as you've been doing it and for wanting to continue. You have a very powerful message. Here's an important thing and by the way, this is what I love to teach on Sundays. I have a couple of very important phrases. Write this down. Stop telling people what they need. Get them to want what you have. So you can't stand there and say, look, you need to be fit and healthy. You need to go to the gym. You need to work out. They're not interested in that. But what you can say is to reframe this. Hey guys, you know what? You look at me and I'm 65 and I'm vibrant. I wear a size smaller than I did in high school and I'm loving my physical being. I go to the gym. I put muscle on my body. I even won a fitness bikini competition. Whoa, that I'd never wanted to enter before. So you yourself, Deb, are the product. You are this glowing light and a testament to good health. All I got to do is go, look, guys, if you all want a 5-minute fix, you want to do a little injection, I don't know if you know this. You know how every time a drug comes on the market and the next month they tell you all the class action suits about that drug and how bad it is for you? You've seen that over and over and over again, right? Well, yes. So this Ozempic comes out or GLP or whatever it is. They really haven't shared with you, but they will next month, the month after you start, that it eats away your bones, deteriorates your heart, plays havoc with your brain cells, and you're going to be a very beautifully skinny corpse. Congratulations. You're not my client. And it's not long-term sustainable.
Yeah.
So feel free and bless those people. And Deb, there's only 8 billion people on the planet, and there's a lot in your community who do want to listen to you. So don't lump them into one group and don't discount them, but terrify the ones. Just reframe it and go, if that's what you want. It's never worked for anyone, but okay. And when the studies come out about all the things it does for you, it doesn't just eat away fat cells, it eats away bone mass, it does all kind of things. And and then the last thing, Deb, from personal experience, I did the same thing 30 years ago. I wanted to be fit, and it was really hard for me. I was an emotional eater. I was always carrying 30 extra pounds. Anybody relate to that? Yeah, just kind of annoying, right? So when Fen-Phen came out, Fen-Phen was basically medical speed. I took it, and I dropped some serious weight. I got down to a size 6 for the first time, and that was my goal, and I was so happy. You know the problem with that? I seriously affected my heart. And now here's the really sad thing, Deb. When it came out that it really affected your heart, here was my reaction as a food-obsessed 30-year-old. I didn't care about my heart. I cared about the size of my ass, and I just wanted to be skinny. And so I put myself at major risk for that. I would not have been your client. It took me another 30 years to become your client. So be patient. Love people where they are. Thank you, Ms. Deb, for doing what you do. Queen, come on up here. Anybody named Queen's got my heart. Come on, Queen.
Good morning. Sorry about my voice. I've been coughing nonstop, and I wasn't supposed to speak, but you said something, Forbes, earlier, when you cannot figure out and there's like a crack, but you can't figure out, and there's like you don't understand. When you were in that moment, how did you how did you do it? Like,
okay, let me bring
moment.
let me bring this around to you, Queen. What are you struggling with right now?
Oh, so many.
Give me one.
First, I am currently not working for a while.
Okay, so just stop right there. What do you love doing? What do you make money doing?
I'm not sure. That's what I'm trying to figure out.
What do you love doing? What are you skilled at? What did you go to school for? What do you see other people that interest you?
Okay, I love talking to people, and I love speaking. I love relationships with people. I love writing. That's why I participated in this anthology.
Okay, so let's start there, guys, because that's a really important thing to do. What are you guys doing with your chapter? Because one of the things is writing a book, and that's nice, and you get to hold it in your hand and go, I got a book. But if nobody else has the book, what's the value to that? So, Queen, you wrote this chapter because you would like to be speaking. You know, speakers get paid to speak number one. And speakers can also sell when they are speaking, even if somebody's asking you to speak for free. There's a strategy that says, hey, come enroll and, buy a copy of my book. I know Dianne was very gracious and set up an author pricing. So if you buy the book for X and you sell it for 2 times X, you make money that way. But you got to be thinking along those strategies. Does that make sense, Queen? And then I would also ask, what's the subject line, the one thing that I haven't read your chapter, but I need to know in one sentence what it's about. It's a great way to help me market it. Olga, can we unmute her? Okay, so what's in one sentence, what's your chapter about? And you guys should all write this down. You should also be very clear. I have 3 things I love: research, strategy, and leverage. Let's assume the research is already done, you wrote the chapter. Now you've got this chapter, it's got a title to it. The title is one thing, but the subtitle is what's going to get me to really want to either read it or promote it or repurpose it. Have you all put your chapter up on LinkedIn as a free gift? Hey guys, or even half the chapter. Go, hey, guys, I'm part of a new book. Let me give you a little taste of it. Here's a summary of my chapter or a summary of whatever. If you want to buy it, here's my link. So, Queen, what's the one sentence?
Well, my chapter was about wounded heart to wisdom heart.
Okay, so why does somebody want to read that?
Because I believe that we all go through.
No, hang on a second. This is a really interesting question. I teach this Sunday in my pitch class.
Okay.
There's no I in the sentence I'm asking for.
Mm.
Why does someone want to read it, not why you wrote it?
Okay. Get a different perspective and bring hope and make them understand that we are more powerful than we think.
Okay, do you hear what you just said? To make them understand we're more powerful. That's not what somebody's looking for. I want to be more powerful than I think. If you guys can literally come up with the reason someone wants to read your chapter in a sentence, it makes it very powerful. So if I wrote a chapter in the book about overcoming the word fear, I would simply have to flip that and say, guys, if you're dealing with fear in your life and you're not moving forward and you're procrastinating and you're looking for something to get out of this same kind of hamster wheel, my chapter will up-level you and empower you to take action. There's no I in that sentence. This is what my chapter does for you as the reader. It's how you pitch anything. And so that's a really important thing. You got to get out of your way. Queen, it's not about you. And you don't have to, it's so funny. There's a big difference between working and having a job and making money. I very rarely have ever had a job in my life, and I've generated billions. You know how I did it? Teaching, promoting, speaking, talking, writing, all the things that you said you want to do. Just start doing them and do them for somebody else's benefit. Dianne, was that helpful?
Yes, it was. It helped me as well, because I was writing down my points.
Well, but guys, it goes back to my pitch formula. If some of you have been through my big training, here's the thing. If you go back to identify what it is, and by the way, so remember I said research, strategy, and leverage? Let's remind ourselves that you have leverage built into this book. Leveraging my name, leveraging my fame. Hey guys, I'm in a book with a woman who sold over $2.5 billion worth of product, who starred in an infomercial and is now one of the leading pitch coaches in the planet. Oh my God, that's leverage. I'm in a book with Les Brown, America's favorite motivational speaker. This man is very picky about who he endorses, and he signed on to promote this book. Why? Because he sees the value in women's stories, blah, 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 blah. Make sense? So research, strategy, and leverage. Leverage the fact that you're with other writers. Can you all get together at a bookstore, at a library? Can you do a Zoom? Hey guys, you know what? We're going to come and read a chapter of our book tonight. And we're going to do this series for the next, month and a half or however long it took. Oh, that's interesting. Always be thinking about the other person, why they want to read this, and what's the pain. It's just like pitching. If I have a product, in my world, we stop talking about the product initially. Nobody cares that I have a cup. Congratulations, Forbes, you have a cup. But what if I told you that this cup has all the superheroes on it, and depending on the temperature of the cup, they light up? You know how much water my son likes to drink because he loves superheroes? Your kids, if they love this, will want this cup because he's got a pain. He wants to go, wow, superheroes came to life. Now, if I'm talking to you, Queen, and Dianne, who are women of a certain age, I might say, hey, guys, you know what's so cool about this cup? It has a special Himalayan insulation. I just have to pour coffee in it once, and you know I'm a slow drinker. All day long, my coffee stays hot. Who wants all day hot? Or if you put a cold in there, your ice cubes never melt. So all I did was solve a problem that I know you might have with what I have. Does that resonate? You do that with your chapter, and people will want to read it, solve their problem. Terry Riley, my favorite last name in the world, next to self. Come on up here and say hey. Oh, Gloria just said, where can I get that cup? I wish it did any of those things. I made all that up. It's just a cup. I wish I had a cup that where my superheroes lit up and it stayed hot all day. Wouldn't that be good? By the way, that's how Forbes Riley sells ice to Eskimos. I don't sell ice to Eskimos. This is the big joke. Because Eskimos don't want ice. And that's a fact, and it's kind of ironic. What do Eskimos want? They want blankets and shoes and firewood. That's what you sell them, you are making money. So what you really don't want to do is keep trying to push a square peg into a round hole. It doesn't fit. So anyone who says she's so good she can sell ice to Eskimos doesn't know what they're talking about. Because nobody can do that. Why would you want to? It's the exact opposite. Stop telling people what they need. You need my new book. No, we don't need anything. I didn't ever bought anything I needed. You buy because you want it. So your job is to get people to want you. So Terry, ask one quick question and I'll give you back your stage, or Dianne will be here to midnight.
Okay. Hi, good morning, everyone. My name's Terry Riley. I'm an image consultant and personal stylist known as the Confidence Fashionista. Haven't always been confident being bullied growing up, but I understand the pain of not feeling good enough. And now I use fashion as a tool to help women align who they are on the inside with how they show up on the outside. And my question, Forbes.
Wait. Can we just give her an applause? That was about one sentence too long, but it was freaking gorgeous. We now know who this woman is because she raised her hand. Thank you for illustrating that beautiful point. All right, question is?
My question is, I have a beautiful clothing line and I want to help women align who they are from the inside out using my clothing, because it's not just clothing, it's confidence that I'm selling.
Okay, so my question is, if you use the descriptive word beautiful clothing, you've told me nothing.
Okay.
So you haven't piqued my interest. Why would I want your clothes? Tell me something about them.
Because when you put the whatever the garment is, when you put it on, it makes you feel good.
No, stop for a second. And this is another part of my formula. There's a thing called feature and benefit. You can't stand there and tell me, oh, when you put on my mythical garment, you're going to feel like a rock star. You haven't said anything. When you put on my garments made of 100% cashmere, you feel like a princess. When you put on my silk blouse, so I don't have any feature right now. I have no context to believe what you're saying.
Okay, gotcha.
So what is a differential? Is it the cut? Is it the material? Is it the styling? What is it?
Okay, the color, the color pattern. The color pattern stays the same from season to season, from year after year. So you're able to build a beautiful wardrobe with less clothing.
Terry, can I got a lot of women here.
Okay,
No. But do you hear how she hasn't told us anything? Like she hasn't said, there's no real reason to buy what you've got right now. Because you haven't, and this is not about the clothing or you, Terry, and this is why I teach, because the pitch makes no sense. So I would ask, you could say, as a stylist, one of the things that I do is that when you get the clothes home, I have a unique pinning system, so you don't have to spend money on alterations, but that it looks tailored to your body. That's an interesting point. The color's irrelevant because every one of us has a different color palette here, so I don't really understand how you haven't explained it to me. So that it's a thing about feature benefit. Give me
Okay,
one.
the color palette, the navies are going to match year after year, season after season.
I don't care. No, I don't care about that. I don't care about season after season. I'm looking to buy, anybody here looking to buy an outfit. She's telling me I can look more beautiful from the inside out and is not giving me one reason to buy it yet. Dianne, come and help me out here. You know what I'm saying.
Yes, yes, I know. And I know what Terry does. She puts in that work, and I have some of her garments, and it's long lasting. You can go. It stays in season year after year.
Well, so then Terry, you might want to say, after studying trends, I realize that as a working woman, you don't want to adhere to fads. That's one season in your closet. But you also don't want to go to Macy's and get the same cookie cutter, white shirt, blue blazer, khaki pants bullshit that they sell there. So if you said to me, I use high quality Italian materials at affordable prices, now you've piqued my interest. Right, guys? Or I have a unique styling when it comes to making skirts and pants and jackets make you look like you're 10 pounds thinner. Anybody want that? Hello.
Okay.
I don't even make clothes and everybody raised their hand, Terry. Because of the pitch, because I'm giving them what they want. What do women want? They want to look thinner. They want to look beautiful. They want it to be affordable. They want it to be long lasting, but that's not the key one. You have a solution. We all as women have a problem. And then you might want to say, because we're all so different sizes, I'm still not convinced. You guys, one of the things, how about I make you feel sexy? We don't use sizes 2, 4, and 6. We use size love, perfection, and queen. I don't know. I'm just saying because we're tired because those sizes are all stupid. Does that make sense? I take your actual measurements. We don't give you some stupid generic number, and we make you look amazing. Yeah. So I've just given you like 18 different ideas.
Thank you.
You are so welcome. All right, you guys. Oh, we do have a man up here. Dianne, really quick, should Paul just ask a question?
Yes.
Come on, Paul, jump up here.
You're muted, Paul. Please unmute yourself.
How's it now?
You're great.
My name is Paul Hessen. I show people how to use their conscious and subconscious mind to achieve what they want and to build resilience against stress and anxiety. And Forbes, I have a question for you. How long did it take you to acquire the wisdom that you have and to make it flow so easy as if it is second nature? And the reason why I ask this question is a lesson for everybody that is here. How long it's going to take us time by the time we know what we want and then to achieve the wisdom that you are showing now. How long does it take?
That is such a precious question. The answer is 72 years. So I'm almost there. Some of you have a little ways to go. And I will tell you what happens. You have to make a conscious decision, and Paul has got a great point. Learn something. Continue to learn something. And also focus on this word of mastery. I got insulted as a kid, and it became the mantra for my life. Someone said to me, "You'll never be world class." And I set out on a mission going, what the hell does that mean? How does somebody become world class? And Paul, I was driven by that. And you all have a thing that should stick in your, somebody told you what you can and cannot do. And I lived with a billionaire, and I was really embarrassed because I was raised in a very simple lower middle class household where we had one couch with plastic on it. And I thought that's how you did life. And you open food from a can. And now I'm dealing with chefs. And when Mrs. Grace turned to me and said, "You need to get Louis Vuitton out of the trunk," I turned to her and said, "Who's in the trunk?" I had no idea. How would you learn these things? And so I set out to learn what it meant to be world class. And then every time I found a mentor, unlike many of you, I freaking dug in. I would become obsessed for a period of time learning everything about Tony Robbins and all of his teaching, everything about Gandhi and his teaching, everything about, and I went nuts. I really dug down. I read lots of books. I spent a lot of, this is an interesting thing you hear. Success that you see on the outside is a culmination of all the work you didn't see when nobody was looking. How many hours did I spend in the gym when I decided I had 3 months to enter a professional bodybuilding competition? I spent 2.5 to 3 hours every single day for 99 days in the gym. I only ate carnivore diet. I only watched motivational videos and bodybuilding things. And I changed my entire physical being in 99 days. A lot of wisdom came out of that, a lot of pain, a lot of trials. But I also know that if you segment it out, that nothing is forever, at least in my world. I'm going to go through this pain for this period of time, and then it will end. So it's okay to run the sprint full out, but you cannot run a marathon full out. And so I've been blessed, Paul. I had mentors along the way. One of my mentors made us play the I want game. What do you want? And relentlessly, you get asked that question for 7 minutes. What do you want? What do you want? And I remember very clearly, I played this game many times. It gets to a point where you really don't, you think you knew what you want. I played the game, it was like the third time, and this little phrase popped out of my face. And it said, I want to have every day somebody tell me that I inspired them. That was about 25 years ago. I wrote that down, I looked at it and thought, what the fuck? I don't want that. I just want to be an actress. Just leave me alone. I don't really care about other people. I don't have that many friends. I didn't have friends growing up. People were always mean to me. Screw it. I just want to be all about me. And I kept looking at this phrase. I want someone else to tell me that I inspired them. And then I drilled down and said, what does that mean? And by the way, I've also lived, Paul, at an ashram for 2 years, on and off. An Indian ashram. I ate vegetarian. We couldn't talk for several days a week. We had to listen to Guru Mai. We had to read and chant. And why did I do that? To explore all the little pieces of who you are. If you imagine that you're a star, but you're in the center, and none of your points are pushed out yet, and all you see is the circle. Like, I have to push out these points. I have to push out my biohacking. What does it take to be a functional human being? What do you have to eat, drink, think? I don't drink alcohol. You know why? There's no value in it. Absolutely none. And so, I mean, it ages you. It makes you feel bad the next day. Maybe it makes you a little loose at a party, whatever it happens to be. But I realize that that's where I'm standing. Well, as I look at my face all these years later, I think my skin looks really good because I didn't put poison in my body. Congratulations, Forbes. That was one thing we did right. Then I did some things not so right. And I had to find, but I managed to keep, because all of these stars have to be pushed out for you to shine brightly. There is a financial star. How do you take care of the money that you've got? Who do you donate to? How do you feel about money? There is an emotional thing. There's a spiritual thing. I've been on lots of spiritual quests because I did not settle for the religion that my parents were raised in. Just, it was a concept. I learned that concept, and I thought, there's some holes in this. And then I found other concepts, and then I said, you know what? I'm going to put all this together since I live in a free world, thank God, and make my own version of spirituality. I don't share it publicly because it's not anybody's business, but I have a very powerful connection to whatever this universe is. So all of those stars, if you're lacking in one of those, push it out and see where it goes. And then the next time I played this game, another crazy thing came out. And it comes out when you're not expecting it. That's why I love this game. And I said it, and I can't believe I said it. I said, I want, what do you want? I want this. I want people to love it. I want to be told that I'm amazing. And I stopped and thought, oh my God, I said that out loud. And then I realized how true that was and how embarrassed I was for admitting it. But I said it. And then it dawned on me, what do you want? You might want to write down. Here's a great exercise, guys. Take a whole page, I want, and fill up all 50 lines. I want this, I want that. It might be, I want money, I want the love of my life, I want to travel. And then you might want to say, where do you want to travel? I want to travel to Dubai. I want to travel by Dubai when? Write this down until you can't write anymore. And it dawned on me that this word amazing came from my father. My dad and I used to do magic tricks. And whenever a magic trick is over, the audience always says to you, oh my God, that's so amazing. And I thought, I want to be told I'm amazing. Then I had this little fitness product. It's called a Spin Gym. And every time someone touches it and does like 30 seconds, they go, oh my God, that's amazing. I feel that. And I thought, how do I get to be told that I'm amazing? And Paul, the craziest thing is, I started writing books and writing courses and teaching and doing this 18 hours a day. When all of you are out having a great time and doing what you've done on the weekends, I was writing and working with my daughter. And now, very often, I will walk into a speaking environment and people will literally say, there's the amazing Forbes Riley. And my heart just goes, how did they know? And it's because you had to show up in such a divine, committed way to help others. And so the answer to this is that everyone's on their own path. Please take a moment and uncover what you really want. If you really want to be free of your mom's voice because you can hear her nagging even though she's been dead 20 years, make sure you take care of that one. If you really want to raise a kid that you didn't give birth to because you'd like to give back, I did that. Unfortunately, the kid that I raised for 12 years was murdered. You know what I wanted to do, Paul, then? I wanted to do a speech about this, and I could never figure out how to do it because I'm always talking about business. And you know what happened? I gave a TEDx talk this year about business, about pitching, and then by the grace of whatever universe I'm plugging into, I got asked to do a second TEDx. And it was called Urban Mosaic. And I literally could hear Dexter and my angels and whatever just reach back going, you asked for this talk. Take it. It's not public yet. But it talks about black versus white. It talks about an experiment that I was subject to when I was 10 years old about eye color. It talks about my roommate, who I never really talked about, how I at 19 put a black and white acting group together and did something extraordinary against everybody's wishes. And then how I raised this kid who was as black as my shirt and loved him to pieces, told him he could be anything, put so much time and energy into him. And it turns out that I was wrong because I told Dexter that he could be president of the United States. And he said to me, oh, Mom, that's not going to happen. A black guy's never going to be president of the United States. And it turns out my boy was right because he was killed before Obama took office. And so we are taught to hate. Can we be taught to love became this speech. Paul, I don't know how wise I am. I just know that I continually ask the universe for more. I don't settle. Enough is never enough for me. And by the way, it doesn't always make you the happiest person on the planet. My sister and I are very, very different people, and we don't talk because of it. I've solved everybody else's problems, right? Two things. I come from a family of very grudge-holding, angry people. They were persecuted. They came to this country and they continued to be angry because nobody liked them or respected them. And so I got colored with all of this energy and this anger, right? And I could hold that. Or you can make a shift and go, I'm not going to be that person. I see more in humanity than the news is telling me I should see. I have learned to turn off the news. It's very destructive. And then Dexter was murdered. And I'm like, you could be angry, you could be solitude, and you certainly have to go through that period. But I said, what if his story and our story could matter to other people? And wisdom comes from always asking questions. So Paul and Terry and everyone else who stepped up to ask a question, thank you. For those of you who have questions in your head and your heart, come to Sunday. And by the way, Jay, thank you for saying I'm amazing. Here's the funny thing about the universe. You literally, and see the chat, get what you ask for.
Let's give it up. Give it up for Dr. Forbes Riley, my celebrity author, my coach and mentor. I am so thrilled to always have the opportunity to spend time with you, and especially in person. So I look forward to the next time I can hug you and say,
all right,
thank
wait.
you for
Okay.
investing
You
in
know
me.
what? I'm gonna pitch something if I may. This page just got posted yesterday. I'm gonna ask you guys. So we do a little event here. FredXEvent.com. Now, why is this important to you? Well, because you've all written a chapter. The next step in your journey is to speak about what you do. Dianne, do you agree?
Yes.
So if you look at that event is a 30-person event at a TV studio that I personally built and own. It's a 5,000 square foot building. We're going to do our third and fourth FredX's. And what is this? This is you doing a 5-minute speech that we record with 3 cameras. We do a branded high-level photo shoot, and we do a day of training. It's a 3-day event. We cater every single day because I love taking care of people. But your message that you wrote as a chapter now gets to be a talk, gets to be a platform. You don't have to speak about that, but oh my gosh, we also have a virtual audience watching you of hundreds of people who could buy your book because they love what you're doing. So whether it is this whether it's I love my event because unlike TED has a whole lot of rules, and it will take you from the time they say yes to you, will take you 6 months to get on the stage, and then you don't really own the footage. They do. It's great. Guys, I want all of you to have a TEDx talk, and I teach it, and I guide people towards this. But to be a speaker, you don't have to wait for that. In March, you can literally get on a stage and have this beautiful 5-minute recording of what you stand for. Now you have assets. You have a book which, to Dianne's credit, looks beautiful, is leverageable, and now you have this video of you doing this thing. Can you send that out to event planners? Can we get you booked on stages so your message, Miss Terry, about making women feel great with amazing clothes doesn't just live in your head or in this book, it gets out to the world. So there's 2 people on this platform who went to FredX. Sandra, I mean, I know I hear from Sandy all the time. Sandra came all the way across the ocean to be part of this. Can you see why this would really serve this community? Ms. Sandra Smith.
Thank you, Forbes, for inviting me to speak, and for Dianne and Olga for giving us this platform. You talk about leverage, and that stage gives you the leverage. It gives you an opportunity to put into words from a visual point of view, so you can connect with your audience. People can see you. People will they will feel for you. And Forbes hosts it on YouTube on her platform, but you can also download it and put it on your platforms. So you get an opportunity to have your voice out there. And yeah, why not is what I say. Why not take the next step? There's no point just putting a chapter in and then stopping from there. Your voice needs to be heard, and it can be heard via that route.
You know, it's funny. I'm on right here, and I'm looking at. Sandra, I can't find yours right now. I'm looking for Sandy's. Sandy Lynn is also here, but let me share something with you. I want you guys to see this. I put this up on my, and it's again. This is not about me. This is for you guys. And if I can leverage my own studio, my own platform, we look right here. This is. Let's see. Who do I have? Jan Jansen's here. Jan Jansen.
For thousands of years, we walked in what the earth gave us.
So I literally can pull up her talk right now.
It's so wonderful to be here with you all. How many of you?
This is a beautifully videotaped, 3 cameras, and let's see, how many likes does she have right now? She has 1.8 thousand views on this because I put it up on my channel to share with everyone. If 1,000 people, and by the way, you get to have anything that, we're promoting what you do. And I'm thinking, Dianne, that maybe we should consider, how many authors are in our book?
24, including you, so it's 23.
Maybe we do a book, maybe we do a version of this that's dedicated to the book. That might be an interesting conversation. Or we can do just one-offs. But I got to share with you, I created this platform, this stage for you guys, so that you can get this message, because the book is great, but how many book chapters are going to come to life? And then you take this little video and you go, hey guys, as an event planner, if it's in a women's event, what I love about what Terry does is not a lot of people speak about clothing, and how to look beautiful from the inside out, but they need to see what you do. This might be that avenue. So Dianne, I just wanted to share that with you because I made it available, worked really, really hard to make it so special. I'll just bring Sandy up and that'll be the last person. Sandy Austin, who's my hero. Dianne, we just love her. What's the value in all of this? And then just say something wonderful to Dianne, and then I'll leave.
You bet. Thank you, Forbes. Dianne, this is such an incredible event, girl. You go, girl. Forbes, 3 years ago, I took my first class with Forbes Riley. I won it through a second place in a pitch competition. And I'm a professional school counselor, dealt with people all my life. I'm 66. And so I've dealt with a lot of people, have been through a lot of mentor trainings and that type of thing. On that first one, I thought, ooh, Forbes is different. And I thought, well, I got to check out this woman. And you guys, I have been in every single training since then. She is the real deal. She is here for us. She wants to help us to figure out who we are, what our gift is, what our message is. And you guys, 3 years ago, I had 15 speaking events. Through the trains, I've taken every training of Forbes in the last 3 years. I had 66 speaking events last year. I 8x'd my leads that I get through exhibit booths and everything. It's just incredible. So I have a nonprofit. You'll hear about me in a little while. So, but I just prevent bullying, suicides, and school shootings. And Forbes has just incredibly increased my effectiveness and my impact. So thank you, Forbes Riley. And you guys, I don't get paid for anything that I've been saying in the chat. So it's just, I want you guys to experience it too.
We just want you guys to experience the best that life has to offer. And Dianne, you've done a phenomenal job. So I will stop talking now and just say thank you.
Well, folks, I thank you, because when I got that call from you yesterday and you said, I just want you to win, it really touched my heart. And this is what I know you want for every one of us here. And I just want to pay it forward by supporting everyone on this platform. So again, thank you so much for supporting me and showing up and supporting us and being a part of our book. And yes, and saying so, and all of the authors, and we have a few authors who are not here. For the ones who are here, we're planning to do a book signing with Forbes Riley. So I'm going to be reaching out with you guys, and we're going to have fun so we can kind of figure some stuff out, Forbes. I know it's going to be, I think we were looking at May the 3rd. I got to coordinate some more stuff with you. So yes. So I'm excited. I am thrilled. So thank you. And we have